Hi, Ivan. Thank you so much for coming to BizTalk. How are you?
Hi, Max. Hi, Max. Really pleasure to being with you.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks for your time. So before talking about your venture, shall we give an introduction who you are?
Yeah, well, I'm a little more than 40 years old, currently a co-founder of a couple of businesses. My profile and background is highly related to the client-facing processes, client relations. So I have a 10 plus years of experience in marketing, sales, customer service. I have a marketing agency for 6 years now, and we have a 2 or 3 already technological companies that we're currently developing. Pretty excited about everything that is related to making our clients happy.
That's great. So let's start talking about your venture, what you're doing now.
Yeah, so currently what we are developing is a concept around revenue operations as a framework. We worked lots of years with B2B services and SaaS companies, and what we saw is that it's actually quite challenging when you build a SaaS business to know what are the next steps that are coming your way. Normally what we see is, and pretty sure that the founders of the SaaS business are mostly product people. So they're developers, they're focused on the product, they're developing something that is maybe, groundbreaking, niche, or it has already some market potential. And they're really, into the features, into everything that this product needs to be or present. And then at the moment that they build something, they start realizing that actually it's a whole enterprise, it's a whole business that they need to build. It's not just the product. And at that time, it becomes really difficult to them to know the next steps. We are building currently a platform that is created around the concept of revenue operations as a framework, which actually means that all the client-facing processes of a company, marketing, sales, and customer service needs to work together. They needs to work aligned with, common goals, common tools, and, towards achieving, the success of the company and working for the most important thing for the client success and happiness. We see a great potential in SaaS businesses where, SaaS business with a subscription-based model with a recurring revenue as a potential. If they apply a revenue operations as a framework, they, can grow rapidly normally. And it's actually something that helps us a lot. Gartner mentions that by 2025, which is actually now, 75% of the hyper growth companies will adopt the revenue operations model. What happens along the way? Revenue operations is something pretty simple. So it's about people aligning processes and technologies in place. As you can imagine, a SaaS business, it's a technology company, but normally a business, with the mid-size or big size businesses, even a small one, uses from, 5 to 15 different tools, different platforms in order to create an ecosystem of solutions that help him grow. And that's one of the biggest challenges that we're currently identifying in the near future for startup founders. They will struggle to create the ecosystem of solutions that will help, the business thrive and grow. And by technical solutions, I mean, CRM, marketing automation platforms, subscription management platforms, everything that's on the market. Currently, there are more than 8,000 marketing automation platforms on the market. So you can imagine if someone builds a SaaS business, it is vital to have an automation platform that nurtures the client. And if he goes by himself and just search around the internet for a solution, he will go crazy. So normally what happens currently on the market is that for the hyper growth companies that are already implementing revenue operations models, there are a couple of platforms that unify all the tools that are gathering information, and they can streamline easy the performance of this business. So you can analyze the data that you're gathering from, your clients, your efforts, marketing, sales, and everything else. And you can, based on this analysis, you can make, business decisions. But what happened actually before that? So what happens when you need to start building your startup? That's the biggest question. And what we've developed, and I'm just showing you here. Yeah, so we called it Revoperate, and it's a platform that will help starting businesses start building their revenue engine. It's something like an AI-powered self-consulting platform that will guide you through each step of building your company. What I mean by that, we are going to take, let's say, our ideal customer profiles. There are two types of. The one is the startup founder, so a person that has already some kind of MVP or product idea, and he doesn't know anything about building a business. He needs to use a platform that can say, okay, hi, Ivan, I will help you, guide you through the steps of building your revenue engine. What we're going to have a self-consulted AI-based guided tool that will help you on the way of your, process. So you can, start by asking questions. What I need to do first? Should I go to investor or should I build an internal team? What is my business model based on the product that I'm currently developing? All those questions can be or should be answered by the platform. And if there is something along the way that the platform cannot answer, there will be always a person from our RevOps marketplace of consultants who can help you. The final idea of this platform is when you start growing your business within the platform is to store the collective memory about your company's path. As you can imagine now, what happens with the businesses that rapidly grow, they start storing information about their strategy anywhere in internet. So they have a shared point, they have, cloud storage, they have, Slack, they have a CRM, they have some presentations all over, some tools. And if someone comes into the company, a new guy, I don't know, a marketing director or a revenue operations person, and he asks, show me your history about the company, what you've done so far, how you grow, what were the challenges, what were the strategies that you were implementing, but you failed implementing them, that cannot be shown in a glance. So our idea is to start storing this information in one single platform so that everything stays in all-in-one platform and it can be easily accessed. So in the future, when I start implementing my revenue operations framework, I will be able to add a consultant or a new employee, and I can show him everything, like a map, a journey of the client, all the strategies that we have implemented, all the different motions. So whether it's an inbound or product-led growth tool or something like that. So I will be able to show him, and he can collaborate on our strategy building tool with, his other colleagues. And of course, something very interesting as well. It's not only about the startup owner, but it's also about the revenue operations consultant. Why? Because in the future, revenue operations, as I already mentioned, it will be a huge thing among the SaaS industry. Lots of SaaS businesses will want to hire RevOps experts, but they will not be on the market still because the demand will be huge and people, there are very few that understands currently the business. So RevOps consultants, there will be, really highly preferred when it comes to building, and consulting businesses on how they can grow. And RevOps consultant currently, I'm myself, I'm a RevOps consultant as well. When we start consult some businesses, we have our own processes, we have our own tools, we have our own know-how in terms of, presentations, files, diagrams, nothing unified. And what can happen here is that I can, if I find a client who wants to build his revenue engine, I can use Revoperate as my platform to consult him on the way. And then all the history of my work and all the legacy of my work will stay in possession of the client and not stored by me in some, cloud database storage and stuff like that. So our two ideal customer profiles are the consultant, the RevOps consultant, and on the other hand, the startup founder, the business owner of the starting company, and they can collaborate within Revoperate. Currently, our status is on a concept level. We are, testing the environment with this landing page. So we are currently acquiring early adopters on the business model. We have already 20 companies that has requested, access, and they are willing to test the platform as soon as we have, the MVP. And we hope by raising some funds for, developing the MVP by the mid of next year to have, already some product on the market.
Thank you so much, Ivan. So let me ask you, what about the business model? How is it going to work?
Yeah, so it's, I must say, it's some kind of a, we are huge fans of HubSpot. We are also a platinum partner in our, company, RevBrains. We, of course, stole some of the ideas of the business model of HubSpot. So it will be, of course, subscription-based model. People will pay based on the usage, based on users that are going to use the platforms. So if you're a small company, there will be a freemium model for sure that you can test and access. Something very important that I forgot to mention is that we're going to have access to lots of materials about revenue operations. So you will not only be able to build your engine in the platform, but you're going to be able to build expertise among your team about revenue operations. So we're going to give free stuff to small people, small teams, and small companies. And then as they grow, they will be able to, invest more in using our tools for, building and implementing the strategy. So subscription-based model based on user number of users. So it will be, small business, mid-size, and enterprise level company. And then we're going also to have two marketplaces, consultant marketplace, which experts will, pay a small fee of what they get from our clients, because they will, be booked via our platform to consult them. And of course, we're going to have a marketplace of technologies that can also, we can have a small fee of the transaction if someone buys the technology via our platform. So it's a triple model of making money. And of course, just to say, we need also to have onboarding services because of the complex solutions or the, onboarding on the platform. If you're already, in some development stage, we're going to charge also for onboarding services.
Are you going to work only with startups and, of course, consultants, or you want to move all the way up, doing other services?
Yeah, so our idea is to focus on the startups because nobody cares about them, I must be honest. So when we see now on the market related to revenue operations, there are a couple of really good platforms, but they're really suitable for scale-up. So for companies that are already with, Series B funding or Series A at least, and they, have data, they have teams, and they need a performance tool that can, streamline the whole process and see where are the gaps. But nobody helps people in the starting phase of their business. And I think, and pretty sure that most of the businesses fail at this, very beginning of their journey, because they don't have a real strategy in place. What comes next after, you develop the product and where you need to go in order, maybe, if you're bootstrapping or you're investing your own money, what should I do with my money at the beginning? So mostly what we want to do is we want to acquire startups, but we want to be for this company in the way of scaling so that this platform can be used also when you scale. As I mentioned, we want to build a tool that collects all the history of development of this company from the very beginning to the moment that you're, a unicorn or a huge success in the world.
Hey, what happens if I'm a startup and come into your platform? What's my journey? What I'm going to do?
We're currently thinking about that journey. So the pure idea would be to have some kind of a question-based journey. So if you can imagine when you're applying for a fund, you have a series of questions on different topics. Let's say, okay, start with your name, start with your size, and then so on and so on. We're going to use that logic as well, because normally we want to extract information from the business owner. So what will happen is, if I log into the platform, there will be, a virtual assistant that will, start guiding me along the tools. Normally, what we want to achieve is, we want to have a multiple channel acquisition model like HubSpot's. You can imagine that there are lots of people using HubSpot Academy for learning stuff, but they don't use the CRM of HubSpot. So HubSpot says, okay, via the HubSpot Academy, I can acquire clients. They first come, consume some videos and courses, and then they are pretty excited about the platform. They start using the CRM. It will be the same here. So if you're just a person who wants to learn more about revenue operations, no problem. There is a free account. You can access some of our courses. You can learn. You can certify if you want. And then the platform will start upselling you and trying to bring you on the next model. And then when you're ready, when you can say, okay, I want to start building my revenue engine, then the process will initiate, these self-guiding questionnaires where, based on the inputs that you give to the platform, after that, the platform will create your project, will guide you, will create you automatically tasks that you need to perform, will remind you about meetings that you need to have with your team, will remind you about inputs that you need to give to the platform in order to go to the next stage. And if you have some questions along the way, you can ask our 24/7 chat support, or you can go and book a consultant from our marketplace and work with him.
Are you going to raise any funds now, and how much?
Well, we're currently, I must be honest with you, we're currently evaluating the situation. So I think an estimated of 200 to 300,000 euro will be, enough to launch the MVP on the market and have already some paying clients. So it's not a big amount, but we're, currently projecting the revenue trajectory. We want to have some assumptions on plate, and we're currently developing. As you can see, we don't have a pitch deck so far. So we are, in the process of doing this. By the end of the year, we want to have everything settled and some more active talks with investors. Yes, of course, we are currently also in talks with some, angel investors because of the concept. People are excited. But we're still in the concept phase.
What's your vision, and where do you see the challenge here?
Yeah. Well, I want this to become the next HubSpot of startups. If you have a CRM like HubSpot, it's amazing tool and you can grow, but you don't know about it. And the biggest challenge is, and I'm consulting lots of people that have some ideas and they dream about, succeeding with their ideas, is that, in the future, it will be really hard to hire even a consultant, a person who can, take care of your business, because it will be very rare to find this person. And in other way, it will be very expensive because people will be very few. So my vision is to have a universe where we can store all people that, have dreams about some products, and they can start creating their blueprint, revenue engine blueprint with our tool. And along the way, the AI that will be built in this platform will start, feeding with this information and giving not only, like guidance along the way, but also real good suggestions about, business analysis, business solutions, and everything else. And of course, we want to be the centered place for revenue operations experts, that they can find a tool where they can work with their clients in a very unified way. And the biggest challenge is, of course, the adoption of the platform. So what we see here is that, and that's the biggest risk, is when you start using a platform that demands you to do something, It's always like, okay, I will do it next week. I have lots of work. Okay, yeah, it's pretty hard. So the platform wants to meet with my team and, to have this type of outcome and give it to the platform. Yeah, I'm doing it next week. This is actually what happens with the real consultant. So when I'm consulting a client at the beginning, he's very excited. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, I want to succeed. And then when we start working hard, he's like, oh, I needed to do this this week. Oh, let's postpone the meeting because of that. So that's the biggest risk, of adoption when someone just drops out of the platform because he doesn't want to, perform what is needed from him. But that's in most cases, with the CRM is the same thing. So the CRM is just an amazing tool, but you are not living there any day. It's just a useless stuff. So we are going to, we're going to create lots of informational materials. We're going to create lots of inbound content. We're going to create lots of, automation strategy, how you can work and nurture and remind the client. So we're going to try to limit that risk in the future, of course.
Ivan, I really wish you all the best and getting this funding soon and starting MVP and succeeding. I hope in Equity Match we can help you to do so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Max. Thank you for having me. Wish you all the best.